Hi guys, and welcome to doing the MAFS of episode 7. Came on last night. I'm only now being able to watch it because I've had things to do. I don't know when I'm going to watch episode 8, I'm not going to lie. Hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, things are getting real in my life, if you know what I mean. The preparations and the plans that I've been planning for a long time, they're all manifesting right about now. Sorry for the way I look. I went for a swim this morning. I worked, I went for a swim. Had a quick shower there, but it's not the shower that I want. I will be having a shower here as soon as I finish this. So excuse my appearance, but it is what it is, like I always say. So it started. I'm coming to watch it. And I'll be doing the maths within the breaks. I ain't got time to faff out today. So it's going to be a short one, hopefully. Alright, guys. See you soon. Oh, yeah. And I do have to add in a little bit about the penis today. Which I will. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully I should add a bit about the penis. But, yeah. Yeah. Alright. Okay. See you in a bit. Hi guys, so I've just finished watching part 1 of episode 7 of Married at First Sight, Australians Down Under Starry, and they're moving in together, and they've also seen their pictures. Brett and Brooke, cute as ever, love their picture, of course. Alana and Jason like their picture. Bryce and Liz. Bryce made a comment saying, oh, they're the strongest couple. So I was like, okay. So I guess they've rectified everything that happened in the beginning when he gave her an example of how he wouldn't find her attractive in a bar. So I guess they've overcome that. So that's good. Belinda and Pat moved in together. And obviously Belinda hasn't moved in with anyone before, lived with anyone before. I don't know about Patrick. They didn't really mention his living arrangements or his past living arrangements. I don't know if he's actually lived with anyone before. I don't know why they didn't articulate that. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. And what else? And then Belinda was like, because they were talking about the bed. And can we stop normalizing people putting their shoes on the bed, please? Like nearly every couple done that. It's disgusting. Like, your dirty shoes from outside and you put it on the bed. Like, what the heck? That's disgusting. I'm sorry. It's whatever. My opinion. I don't care. Anyway, Belinda was like, oh, the bed's nice and small to snuggle up in. I was like, oh, okay. So you've gotten over him trying to massage your leg and telling you sweet nothings in the bath, yeah? That's good. Samantha and Cameron. Well, there's no Cameron at the moment. Samantha moved in by herself. She's still not sure if Cameron's going to turn up. She's wondering why, or is it worth her even being there? Because obviously she's sacrificing not being with her kids to be in the experiment, and the person that she's meant to be sacrificing the whole thingy with is not there. But then she turned around and said, oh, she was falling in love with him. Okay, so that's that. And I get her point. The fact that he was initiating everything that led up to them having sex. So that, in her mind, all made her think that, you know, there was an emotional connection to her. Do you get what I mean? So I understand where she's coming from. I spoke a lot about meaning of sex in episode 6, guys. Go over and have a look at that if you haven't already. I'm not going to go over it again. But yeah, Alana and Jason were quite reflective, knowing or realizing that they're not as bad as they thought they were, comparing themselves to Samantha and Cameron. Jason doesn't believe there's any way back for Samantha and Cameron. And that's it really. Coco and Sam. Coco went straight to the gym when she got to the hotel because she hadn't been able to go to the gym in the honeymoon. And on top of that, she had a man that doesn't necessarily find her attractive as well. Like, so all of that kind of mentally and not being able to work out physically has affected her. So obviously that was the first thing she ran to. And yeah, Sam and Coco, Sam. Yeah, he was quite hesitant. I don't know if there's something underlying going on there. I don't wanna label him as anything he might not be. But sometimes when you are a certain type of way, you just don't know how to talk properly. Do you get what I mean? So maybe it's just that. And they're back anyway. He says there's still no spark. So we'll see. See you in a bit, guys. Bye. Hi, guys. Part 2 done. And they all went shopping. Oh, I'm so sorry I haven't got no lip gloss on. Let me just quickly get some. Hold on. Yeah, they all went shopping. And initially, Patrick made it seem like, you're, he's out of his element. So, he's going to let Belinda do everything or choose everything, but everything she was choosing, he was like, nah. And I think in the end, he was like, you know what, just get whatever. Do you know what I mean? So that was funny. Cam turned up and again walked out. And it's exactly what I said yesterday, that he wanted Sam to come and speak to him on his terms, because he's now reflected on whatever happened on the honeymoon. So he wanted her to come and talk, and she didn't want to. So he was in a strop with her. And it's the same thing he kind of reiterated today, that, oh, you had a chance to talk to me before the dinner party and you chose not to. And Sam was like, hello, you had a chance to talk to me at the honeymoon, but you decided to storm off. So what are you talking about? And so, yeah, he stormed off. We didn't storm off, but he walked off again. He doesn't seem to feel like there's any way back, which is fair enough. And Sam's trying to say to him, it didn't have to go so far. All those other couples didn't have to actually chime in at the dinner party. If you had just spoken, like spoken to her at the thingy. Let me see if I can open the window. Yeah, give me a second, guys. See if this makes any difference. Get some natural daylight. Yeah, that's better. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so he's a little bit difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily see it from Samantha's point of view as well. But I do see where she's coming from, where, he's trying to make out that it's her that is instigated everything, but it's not, it's him. Because if he had just sat down at the honeymoon and spoke about everything, it wouldn't have gone as far as it's gone. I do understand where he's coming from when he says, for her to jump all the way over to the fact that he's immoral for having sex with her, it's going a bit too far. But like I said, guys, go over to episode 6. I've already spoken about what the different meanings of sex they have, and because of that, what it will allow them to do, or what they're willing to do. One is willing to have sex with someone with no emotion. The other needs to have emotion to have sex. Okay? And that's that, basically. Yeah, he just doesn't seem to be able to handle his emotions nor other people's, and that's why he always walks off for some reason. I don't know if I don't necessarily think it's a childish thing. It could be a way to pacify himself as to not get angry and stuff like that as well. So maybe that's just his way to calm down. I'm not sure. He made a comment, like when he was walking into the flat, he was like, oh, he's seen a side of Sam that has caused any feelings that he was having towards her to kind of dwindle. And I was thinking, so you do have some feelings towards her then? Like, that's what she was talking about in terms of emotions. Hello? I don't know what that's all about. And that's it, guys. I'm going to leave it there. There's not much else to say. They've spoken. They're still there. It seems he wants things on his terms. When he wants to talk is when they should talk, kind of like thing. And that naga work, basically, is what Sam's saying. See you in the next part. Guys, so part 3 done. And there's a new challenge where some of the couples have been given a task to put in ranking least attractive to most attractive the other contestants, and I don't know why the heck they're doing this. I just don't know why the heck they're doing this. I know it's to add more drama, but it's just so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary, but obviously I'm watching it. I'm not going to not watch it because of that, you know what I'm saying? So basically, who started first? And it is for, I mean, if you're looking at it from the other side of things, where, it introduces or it promotes honesty between the couples, I guess that's a reason to obviously continue with it. But it's just, yeah, it is what it is. So that's the reason behind it, for it to promote more honesty. So Alana's least attractive person is Patrick, and the most attractive is Jake. And I must say, the pictures do show their best features, I'm not gonna lie to you. Alana was choosing people less on what they look like, but more on what maybe their wives have said, or their wives have told her about them. So like for James, I think she chose, it seems that he communicates a lot from what Joe has told her, and she likes that. He listens, and she was saying all of this out, and Jason was meant to be listening, but in the confessionals it seems that he wasn't. He couldn't remember what she said. And so she was kind of hinting to him that, like, yeah, she likes a man that listens, she likes a man that talks, she likes a man that communicates and looks in their eyes, her eyes when she's speaking and all that. All of them things that he wasn't doing, basically. So he's got a ways to go. So anyway, yeah. So she put Jake at the top. Mel and Bryce, they made it so dramatic. Oh, we've already been told by Bryce, communicating to Mel, that she's not 100% his type. We already know that. She said it, he said it. So the top person that he put was Becca, and he even said that's not necessarily her type, but there's something about her. And the least was Beth, because he said that she's older. And then obviously, oh yeah, and sorry, I forgot to say, so once they put everybody in ranking, then they have to put their partners in the rank where they put them. And Alana put Jason first, and Bryce chose Becca, like I said, and put Melissa fourth. And Melissa said that was a kick in the guts, which is understandable. I mean, it's understandable, but then I liked what Bryce actually said afterwards, that, like, you know, maybe in terms of looks wise, it's not her, she's not necessarily his total type, but as an overall full package, she's number one. And I do like the way he actually threw all the pictures away, highlighted her picture, kind of put it on, like, on a mantelpiece, just to soften the blow to his honesty, I guess. With Melissa, same thing, dramatical music, putting everybody in place. Who did she choose last? The last was Russell. The second most was James, because she put her husband, Bryce, in the beginning as number one. And he was like, oh, thank you, kind of like thing. And she was like, oh, it's a no-brainer, because, like, at the hospital, God forbid, at the wedding, she turned to her grandparents and said, oh, he's hot. So it also answers the question that I had before in regards to when he told her that she's not 100% his type. And I asked the question, was she trying to say that he's the most attractive person she's met in her life? So I guess that's kind of answered the question a little bit. And that was it, guys. End of part 3. I'll be back for part 4, hopefully. I've got to go pick up my little boy soon. But yeah, alright, see you in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, I'm going to break again, and I've got to go and pick up my son in the next 2 minutes. So this is going to be real quick. So basically, Coco and Sam and Belinda and Patrick were given the task of writing a letter to each other, confessing something they've never told anybody before. Bless Belinda, she confessed that, you know, she had been bullied when she was at school, and it got that bad that they created a website and people were taking a mick out of her on the website and things of that nature, which must have been absolutely horrendous for her. I'm not sure if, I mean, she said no one knows about it, so I'm guessing that her parents don't know her. Well, she did say her friends and family don't know, so I'm guessing no one knows. Oh my gosh, that's horrendous, man. So, and bless Patrick, he was quite supportive. He asked her for her. He was asking questions to understand. Firstly, initially, he was like, oh, why do you think they were bullying you? Which is not really a question you'd necessarily want to ask or to answer, but, you know, he asked it, and then he asked a bit more questions, which was okay. I mean, he asked, like, how deep did the bullying get? And that's when she actually emphasized that it was a whole year, more or less, that was bullying her and stuff like that. And, you know, she confessed that it kind of affected her health, which it would. It will affect her mind. It will affect her stress levels. It will affect how she trusts people. It will affect all of that stuff. So that's totally understandable. Kind of makes sense why she's been alone for so long as well, to a certain extent, to be honest. And it's beautiful how he was very patient with her, listening to her, very attentive, gave her a hug at the end, asked her to hold his hand. And it's beautiful. That's what you need, support, basically. And he gave that to her. Coco and Sam, on the other hand. Coco was really getting into the fact that she feels that she let a lot of people walk all over her because she was looking for something that they weren't necessarily giving her. She was just desperate for love, so she didn't stick up for herself in her last marriage, and she allowed people to do things that she wouldn't necessarily allow them to do now because she's grown. She sticks up for herself now, basically. And it was quite emotional. It was quite sweet, and it was quite deep, and it was also showing her vulnerability. Do you get what I mean? It was showing how vulnerable, I mean, both of them, Belinda and her, were showing their vulnerability. Fast forward to a confessional with Sam, and he's like, I'm not being funny, but she can go on a bit. That's the long and short of it. I'm not even gonna, he said that he wasn't bored or anything, but she can make things a little bit shorter if she wanted. And that reminds me of, oh, I forgot their names, in season 6, with curly hair. I'm gonna have to find the names. I forgot. Same thing. They were on a beach and she was talking about her, you know, having to stick up for herself. And he was like, okay, like, you know, can you hurry up and get to the point? It's the same type of thing, but this time he wasn't saying anything. It's through his actions. She noticed that he yawned, and she just shut down. She just shut her mouth, and he was trying to, like, you know, be like, oh, he's not yawning because he's bored, but he's just tired. You just don't do that. Coco is starting to realise that, yeah, no, it's too much. He's just rude and disrespectful. And he is. And because of where Sam and Cameron are, expert John came in to speak to them. And, you know, Samantha said that, you know, she'd been cheated on for 5 years. Do you get what I mean? So her seeing Cameron act more or less maybe in a way that maybe she's associated to her husband made her say that it was a one-night stand. Do you get what I mean? So, you know, she's never felt good enough, and, you know, it was a big thing for her to get emotionally intimate with him, because that's what she puts it down to, being emotional about him and wanting to show him through being intimate with him. And, you know, Cameron was like, you know, listening to all of what she says, it's easy to kind of understand where she's coming from, but he's the type of person that numbs himself to any emotion, and that's because that's what he's had to do in the past, and that's what he came and done this time around, basically, because of his childhood, having to, you know, numb his emotions. I think he said his dad was ill for a certain amount of time or something like that, so he had to be the, no, I wouldn't say breadwinner, because that's not what he said, but he just had to be someone that didn't show emotion. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have feelings. And, you know, maybe he doesn't show them, but he has them, kind of like thing. So they kind of, you know, saw each other's points from different perspectives. And the fact that, you know, Samantha was like, you know, she feels that she's been where Cameron has been before, where, you know, it's difficult for him to show his vulnerability. But once he's able to do that, he will feel better within himself, kind of like thing. So that is why he was so hurt when she kind of like said that he's like a player, because that's not the case. It's just that he finds it hard to show his emotions. And that was it, guys. I mean, hopefully from here, you know, the fact that he protects himself by numbing his emotions, the fact that he becomes numb to feelings to protect himself makes sense. Okay, whatever childhood he's been through, that he's had to do, that is what he's bringing into his relationship. So it makes sense. Sorry about this light. The weather is really weathering today in October. The sun is bright and it's quite warm. So the sun is just blinding me a little bit, but let it shine on my skin. You know what I mean? But guys, that's it. That's part 4 or 5 down. Part 4 down. I'm going to go and pick up my little king, and I'll be back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it while he's around. I'm not going to lie to you. So this might be it until a little while. But I'll see. See you in a bit, guys. Bye. Hi, guys. I thought, you know what? I've come home, had a lovely evening. One of those evenings. And it was a good evening. So I thought, you know what? Let me just make it easy on myself. I know what I got to do tomorrow. And I know if I do this now, which is 2 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow I can, you know, start things earlier. You get me, right? You get what I'm saying, right? So I'm here at 2 o'clock watching the rest of episode 7, my favourite number of Married at First Sight. The one that I started earlier on, I'm continuing now. Then I'm going to watch today's one tomorrow, hopefully during the day sometime. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to be sometime tomorrow. Okay, guys. I've just finished watching part 6, and it was the honesty task for Belle and Pat, and they both ranked each other first and everything. But you could just tell they haven't, I feel like they haven't been told this from anybody before. So it's like, it looked, they were very flattered, but at the same time, it looked like, did they actually believe that each other are telling the truth, kind of like